As you are stepping into your soul purpose, expanding your business, taking those actions, taking those steps, how do you stay motivated, stay in that momentum, in that flow when things aren't going as planned? And we all know that feeling, whether it's you've just started a new marketing funnel into your sales calls and they're not converting, or you're creating videos, posts on social media, and you're not getting the views. And then you lose motivation, you take yourself out of the game, you do a bunch of inner work, and then you get back to it. And it can be this repeating cycle that we fall into. And this is normal. This is common. So I want to talk to this. How do we maintain our frequency? Because that's really what it's about. How do we maintain this level of frequency even when we're not getting the results? And I've noticed this, in the past when I've done videos and they was getting more views and I was excited, and then they just tanked all of a sudden. And then I took myself out of the game. I lost motivation, I lost momentum. And then I noticed in this past cycle that I'm in, my videos were doing okay, doing a little bit better. And then I made a video that I was super excited about, and it got like no views. And I did not drop my frequency. And one of my spiritual teachers, Erin Lyons, if you don't follow her, give her a follow. She's amazing. She talks a lot about this maintaining your frequency. And I really got what she meant during this past cycle. I think it was a Monday that I put the video out that got 6 views. And then I posted a video on the Wednesday and another one on the Friday. And the one on the Friday did really well. And I'm like, if I hadn't kept posting, I wouldn't have got to the video that did well. And you know what? There's going to be another video in the future that tanks. It's not a steady linear upward. We gain momentum in clients and our impact, and then, maybe we lose it for a little bit. Entrepreneurship, stepping into our soul purpose, it's not a clear, direct, linear path. And so, first point I want to talk about is, holding it with lightness and not putting all eggs in one basket of, I got to get this client, or this post has to do well, or, this workshop, whatever it is in your business. Because sometimes we get so serious and we put so much pressure on ourselves and we think that this is the thing that's got to do well. And then if it does, we're on a high, and if it doesn't, we're on a low. And then we kind of go through the highs and lows with our business. Been there, done that, not fun. It isn't sustainable. That's the key. Because entrepreneurship, most of my clients stepping into their soul purpose, it's through entrepreneurship. We're carving our own path. Doesn't have to be, but it's most of my clients. And entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint. So we got to hold it lightly. And we got to stay connected to our knowing. We got to take a step back and look at an eagle's view. That it doesn't matter if this video does well or doesn't. Doesn't matter if I get this client or not, make this sale or not. My knowing is, this is my soul purpose. This is my life mission. This is what I'm here to do in one way or another. And it might be through this process, or it might not be. Maybe this is the stepping stone to the next thing. And when I can hold it lightly, when I know that whether it's this video that does really well or in 20 videos from now, I'm magnetizing my soul tribe. I'm sharing my wisdom to the people who desire to hear it. I'm attracting my soul clients. It doesn't have to be this client, this sale call. I know my soul clients are coming in, whether it's this one or not. And I trust in divine alignment that if this sale call doesn't go through, I wasn't meant to work with this person. I wasn't meant to be the coach for this person. There's another more aligned coach for them. And there's more aligned clients for me, because we want to work with our soul tribe, the people that we have a soul connection to, right? Not just anyone. So can I trust the process, and can I hold it lightly, and can I hold it from this kind of eagle's view? And then when I'm not putting so much pressure on this sales call, on this video, on this social media post, on this current marketing strategy, when I can hold it lightly and allow myself to learn, to grow, to see what works, to see what doesn't work, to play with titles, to play with flow, to, after a sales call, see what felt good in my body, feel what felt sticky and off and maybe not in my full integrity, or not the way that feels good for me. When we can allow it to be a learning path and a growth path and an evolution, and be connected to our knowing that this is what I'm here to do. This is my soul purpose. This is my soul work. And I know it's happening. I know I'm calling in my dream clients, my soul clients. I know that I am expanding. I know that this is what I'm here to do. And in that knowing, sit back and allow things to unfold, and allow yourself to grow and to learn and to explore and to play and to experiment. And have fun in the process. Because if you're not enjoying the process, it's not sustainable, and it's also not aligned for you. If you're following someone else's funnel because it worked for them, but it doesn't feel good for you and it doesn't feel good in your body, it's not going to work for you either. And we can learn from others and follow your intuition and notice which people who are teaching different things you feel aligned with, that energize you, and then make it your own. Notice what things are easy for you, what things flow for you, what things work for you. How can you tweak your current sales funnel, sales calls, content creation, ways of sharing your voice and your gifts? What do you need to tweak so that you are enjoying the process? And I use this example on myself of, so I had this thing once where I wanted to learn, my ego wanted to learn how to do handstands. So I'd occasionally do an online course of how to learn handstands, but I would never stick to it because I wasn't enjoying the process. And I didn't actually care that much about doing handstands other than looking cool in class, And I'm like, okay, but yoga, because I used to not be flexible at all, come a long way, still a long way to go. And I'm like, well, how did I get that growth, all of this growth in my yoga practice? I'm like, it wasn't because I was trying to get good at yoga. It's because I love getting on my mat every morning. I feel good. I feel energized. I feel mind, body, and soul connected. I'm enjoying the process. And through the enjoying of the process, I'm improving. I'm not trying to improve, So we gotta the sustainable way is the way that feels good for you. We gotta find the way that we enjoy. So me, for example, in these videos, I was putting all this pressure on myself, and it needs to be successful, and I need to be expanding, and in all that pressure and self-criticism, it was not fun. And so I would start and stop and start and stop until I was like, okay, I need to have fun in creating and take the pressure off, because it's the only way it's going to be sustainable for me is if I am enjoying the process. And part of that for me is being kind to myself and cheering myself on, and letting go of perfectionism and not needing it or expecting it to be perfect, and allowing myself the spaciousness to play, to learn, to try things, to have a video that flops and to have one that does well, and to know there's going to be more that do well and there's going to be others that flop, and to maintain my frequency with a video that doesn't do well. It's through like holding it lightly, staying connected to my knowing, and enjoying the process of making the videos, me seeing the value of what I have to share. So you knowing your value, you staying connected to your soul alignment, your soul knowing of your gifts that you have and what you're here to share and the people you're here to work with, and finding the way to draw in your ideal clients, your soul tribe, in the way that feels good for you, however that is. And it takes some test runs for most of us. It takes trying different things, failing, getting it wrong, but learning, seeing what feels good for you in each process, and then carving your own path, finding your way, holding it with lightness, celebrating your wins along the way. Because when I'm celebrating my wins, when I'm not judging myself, when I make a mistake or when it doesn't go as planned, then I can maintain my frequency. And when we maintain our frequency, we can keep showing up in the same frequency. And when we keep showing up, we can keep learning, we can keep growing, we can keep pivoting until things click. And when you drop frequency, that's okay. There's some deeper healing to do. There's deeper work. There's a fear of being seen. There's a fear of not being good enough, or an inner wound, or entrepreneurship brings it all up. It's part of the process. And the more we work with ourselves and the more we can hold our frequency, even when there's inner work to be done, even when things don't go as planned, we can stay more consistent and we can continue to show up, knowing that it is not a linear path. And I think that's something for me, right? Not expecting it to just be up and up and up and up and up. I think there's some people that have that their businesses just take off amazing. And most of us, it's a learning curve and it's up and down, and there's inner work and inner fears, and becoming the version of ourselves. We need to step into the version of ourselves that can hold being seen, that can hold failures, that can hold our worth, and not looking for validation on the outside of how well our business does or doesn't do, how many clients we have or don't have. Can we build our energetic body that I know my worth, not dependent on how well or not my business is doing, that I feel fulfilled, not dependent on how well or not my business is doing, that I'm in my joy, not dependent on how well or not my business is doing. Because anytime we give away our power, our joy, our happiness, our fulfillment to something on the outside, it can be taken away when things aren't going well. And life is, the only thing that's constant in life is change. So as soulpreneurs, as individuals on a spiritual path, growing our businesses, sharing our unique gifts, living our soul purposes, a part of the work as we expand, as we share more, as we create more of an impact, is always coming back to our worthiness, our self-worth, and our sense of joy, aliveness, peace, not being attached to our business. So that's the spiritual work as we expand, right? Can I be as happy and fulfilled with a video that gets 6 views, knowing that I've touched, hopefully, 6 souls? Can I be just as happy, just as grateful as a video that gets hundreds of views? Because each soul, each person matters. And can I feel as fulfilled, not based on the likes, on the views, on the sale number, on the number of clients? Can I get my fulfillment that from me, that I'm showing up, that I'm sharing, that I'm connected to my heart and my soul, that I'm present and enjoying the unfolding, knowing there are highs and lows in business, in life, in it all. And that's the spiritual growth, the spiritual evolution. And business just shows us. It shows us our fears, our limiting beliefs, where we're looking for the outside to validate us. It is a mirror. Entrepreneurship and romantic partnership are the 2 biggest mirrors that show you everything, which is a gift. And sometimes it's challenging, right? But when we can see these things and use everything as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to do the inner work, to be with ourselves, the easier it becomes.